Hey guys! So today's video is just going to be on my current favorite products. So I'm also going to throw in some products that have been kind of disappointing lately. Okay, first things first, I have a couple of NYX products. The first one is the Stay Matte But Not Flat Foundation. This has been a favorite for a very long time, and I just recently repurchased it in a shade that is a little closer to my skin tone, and I've really been loving it. It does have a lot of kickback, but that doesn't bother me too much. I like to use this on days where I don't want to wear any makeup. I'll put a mattifying primer on and this, you know, if I'm in a rush or something. And I really like this to brighten my under eyes a little bit or to add a little bit extra coverage without making my face look super matte. The next thing I have from NYX is the Away We Glow palette in the shade Hooked on Glow. This palette really surprised me, so much so that a lot of the other palettes that I was using before, I was like, wow, these aren't as good as I thought they were because this is so good. It blends so, it's really dirty. I use it all the time. But it blends so easily. The colors have a lot of payoff. They like, this shade, it's kind of hard to tell on camera, but it's a lot darker than you would think it is. I used this palette aside from the black shadow on my eyes today for the smoky eye. It's just kind of the perfect everyday palette for me. I was trying to stay away from warm tones and browns, but it's just so perfect. And this palette I would absolutely repurchase. Next up, I have my Kiss Luxury Intense Lip Liner. This is something I've been using for a long time. It's practically the only lip liner I use now. I have it on right now, and it's actually completely empty. I used it up today, and I think that's the first time I've ever used up lip liner. The only thing I don't like about this is that it is retractable, so the product doesn't last as long as something you can sharpen. Next up, I'm pretty much wearing all my favorites, is the e.l.f. Lip Plumping Gloss. I am allergic to most lip glosses and lipsticks that don't dry down. I haven't figured out what ingredient it is that I'm allergic to because I thought it was a couple things and then I would try something that didn't have it and I would still get that weird feeling in my throat and start choking. So anyway, I'm not allergic to this. It's a slight tingle. I would say it barely plumps, but that's not really why I got it. It's just a really pretty gloss. It's more on the sheer side, but I'm not a big fan of like the white glosses that have been coming out, like the Fenty one. I just find they kind of make my lips look a little gray. I don't know. They're just not for me. Some of them are really pretty, like the Dose of Colors one that Desi and Katie came out with, because that has like pink glitters in it. So yeah, I like this. Really good for every day as well. It keeps my lips fairly hydrated. And I don't have to put it on 20 times a day. It stays on pretty well. Next up is something I haven't mentioned on my channel in a really long time. This is the Illamasqua Vow Pencil. All the writing has come off. I've had it for probably too long. It's just a nude, you're not going to be able to see it. It's just a nude pencil for the waterline. It's my favorite one because it's not as yellow as a lot of the other ones are, so it doesn't, I don't know, it just looks a lot softer in the eyes. That's really good for a no makeup day as well because it takes away any redness you might have. And it also lasts a really long time. Obviously, I've had it for maybe 5 years. Another eyeshadow I want to talk about, actually, is a lot of people are not big fans of it, but it is the MorphexJaclyn Hill, and this one is the Dark Magic palette. This was the one I was most excited about when she announced everything because of the colors. They're more cool toned, and that's something. This is just my go-to, especially for the black. The black is what I have on right now. I haven't played too much with the shimmers just because they aren't as beautiful as I was expecting. But they are nice bases for like a glitter to go on top of. I just don't really like the shimmers by themselves. But thankfully there are only 3 out of all these shades. Very impressed with this palette. I will say though that this is one of the palettes that once I used that NYX one I was like, oh, this doesn't blend as good as I thought it did. And I didn't think it blended amazing, because you do have to actually work at it, but it's not as bad as everyone says in my opinion. That's pretty much it for makeup. I don't have a favorite foundation right now because I have a regret, I guess, for foundation. Yeah, so I'm going to save that for later. But I do have a favorite for skincare, and that is my Divulge Beauty Enzyme Mask. I have a whole video on it if you'd like to see, but this is the mask that I feel has changed my skin. Skin feels very different now. It doesn't feel as oily. My scarring is a lot better. If you want to know more about this, then I would just look at that video because there's a lot of information to know if this is something you would like, but it's basically an exfoliating mask, but like a gentle one for sensitive skin, and I am a big fan. I don't have a favorite moisturizer right now. I'm using the Drunk Elephant one, and it's okay, but I have a favorite oil, and it's the Tarte Maracuja oil. I'm not going to take it out because mine is kind of messy, just because I'm not super careful when I put the cap back on. It's like a dropper. But anyway, that I feel has made my skin far less oily than it used to be. I put it on at night and I feel like it balances my skin out so that the next day my skin isn't overproducing oil, if you know what I mean. My next favorite is about my hair, and if you've been following me for a while, you know I dye my hair all the time. I don't know, I just get bored of my color and I feel like I need a change. But this is the longest I've had a color in probably my whole life, aside from my natural color. But I always go back to black, and I always change my mind about having black hair because I have very light natural hair, so when my hair starts growing in, it looks like I'm balding. So my other favorite product is this Roots styling gel. It's black, so I put a little bit on my hand and I just put it at my part for the day. It helps tame those little tiny pieces that I have at my part, and it also covers up my regrowth so I can wait a little bit longer to do my roots, which is wonderful because I hate doing my roots. It's very annoying. I don't have a ton of favorites at the moment. I'm kind of going through my stuff to see what I want to keep and what I want to give away, just because I don't know, I'm not really feeling it lately. So yeah, now I'm going to move on to the regrets, or just products I want to stay away from. I tried the Huda Beauty foundation a few months ago, and then I broke out, and I was like, maybe it's a coincidence. Tried it again when my skin cleared and I broke out again. 100% it has to be the foundation, and it has to be because there's fragrance in it. It's a very strong fragrance. I don't know why they would do that on a product that goes on your skin. A lot of companies do that, and I think it's a bad idea, but anyway, aside from that, the foundation is really nice. It's just, it breaks me out and I can't wear it, so I just got a sample of it, so thankfully I didn't waste any money, but I just keep that in mind if you have sensitive skin. And unfortunately, same thing goes for my NYX foundation, the Can't Stop Won't Stop. I broke out in a different way. I don't know what I'm allergic to in this, but instead of getting like pimples like I did with the Huda, I kind of just got a bunch of really clogged pores, and I like triple wash my face every night. I take my makeup off with a makeup remover and then a wipe and a micellar water, and I wash my face, and then I use a toner. Like, my face is clean. I use a Clarisonic, like, that's a big deal to me, skincare, so it can't be because my pores were clogged from this, but it made my pores look clogged. Like, I just had congestion, like a bunch of little bumps that never came to a head. I was able to take them away with that mask that I mentioned, but every time I've used this has happened. That has happened the next day, so it's really not worth it for me, which is so disappointing because the wear time on this is actually really nice. I do have one more product I want to mention. I don't use it all the time just because I don't always want to do the same color eye look, but it's the Touch in Sol Metalist and Glitter Shadow Duo. These are so pretty, and I feel like they're kind of, not underrated, but not a lot of people talk about them. They're just like the Stila liquid shadows, only I like these more. They're not as easy to work with, kind of. So the Stila ones, you can get the glitter ones or like the glow ones, so they're like more of a sheen. This you have both, but this side is very foily, and sometimes the Stila glitter isn't like that payoff that you want. You have to pack it on and it's kind of sheer, some of the colors. But this is beautiful. You put this side on first, which is just the liquid shadow, which by itself is already beautiful and very metallic. And then you have the foil, which comes, it's not liquid, but it comes with like a little paddle, so you kind of press it onto the wet base, and depending, like, look at that, that's crazy. Depending on what base you have underneath, you can also kind of adjust the tone. I have this in a purpley shade that if I put it on top of like a blue, it looks kind of mermaidy, and if I put it on top of a black, it's like this beautiful, beautiful smoky eye. So yeah, these I really, really love, and they usually come out with like little holiday sets every year. I'm hoping they have another one this year. I haven't checked, but I will definitely be getting that if they do. I think that's it for my favorites. I have my earrings from Tribolic that I'm obsessed with. These are most definitely a favorite, but aside from that, like I don't know. I haven't been wearing a lot of different jewelry. It's just been these or these little studs. I wear these when I have work just because I don't like my ears hitting me in the face because I'm moving around a lot at work. But yeah, that's pretty much it. Those are my current favorites. Let me know what yours are and if there are any products I should try out. I know I say it all the time, but if you have a drugstore moisturizer that you love that's cruelty-free, please let me know about it and I will try it out because I just keep getting disappointed by drugstore moisturizers. So yeah, thank you so much for watching. I hope you have an amazing day.